Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. We've talked about winning the referral game. Today, we're going to talk about how do you gamify your database? How do you have fun with the people in your database game? Doesn't that sound like more fun than like slogging or prospecting or cold calling or whatever it may be? Today, we're going to talk about gamifying your database. We have a very, very special guest on today. Couple of quick things. I've got to give a shout out to Gina Hine. She's a realtor from Monterey, California. She just said, I just wanted to share how Summerfest, which was our 30-day challenge that we did a month ago, impacted me. I was introduced to you by Kate Marion. Thank you, Kate Marion. I read 7L, and then I enrolled in your 30-day challenge, Summerfest. I'd never received a referral prior to Summerfest. I sent out 10 power notes to people that I recently met at an open house, and yes, I was sure my PS had to be perfect. I received an appointment for one meeting the next week. I also sent out notes during Summerfest, and I've had 2 meetings and expect to list one house next month for $975,000, and sent notes to family friends where I now will list one of their condos in San Jose next month. 3 referrals in 30 days. Thank you for your incredible ideas. Listen, here's the thing. It's like Jennie and I talked about before the show. It's all about implementation, right? You implemented, Gina. You did it. You deserve all the rewards that come from that. Thanks for trusting me. Thanks for trusting the Summerfest crew, and thanks for trusting Kate, who referred us to you. So awesome stuff. Real quick call to action: Referral Mastery Academy. In December, I'm going to teach everyone how to do the perfect one-on-one meeting. How do you do a one-on-one meeting by Zoom or in person so that it results in referrals? You can get it if you're in Referral Mastery Academy. It's part of the deal. Or you can join the one-on-one challenge through referralmasteryacademy.com. If you're interested in what we do, you can go to joingengen.com. Right to today's guest. I'm telling you right now, this has been a long time coming. We have been scheduling this up and down for a couple of months. I'm so excited to have her on. It's not even funny. I've followed her for the last probably 3 to 5 years, and I'm a huge fan, and I'm sure you will be too once we're done. So throughout her 20-year real estate career, Jennie Wolek has learned the importance of creating leverage with people, systems, and tools. By discovering her mission to empower others to live a focused, purposeful life, Jennie has a newfound enthusiasm for building relationships, both in her community and with real estate agents. She enjoys expanding her team to help more families and give back to her local community by supporting small businesses, promoting and donating to nonprofits. Jennie also loves adding value to other agents through her Your Journey with Jennie blog and Facebook group, which you'll want to join, and by teaching and training on her favorite topics to agents across the country and in her local market. Last year, Jennie and the Wolek Group helped over 200 families, generated and shared over 100 referrals, and donated more than $20,000 to deserving local and national charities. She also created a series of classes, Mirror My Business Workshop, Implement My Business 6-week series, and launched a membership group, Maintain Your Momentum. With even bigger goals this year, Jennie and the Wolek Group will live their motto to help more, give back, live large, and have fun. Jennie Wolek, welcome to the Referrals Podcast.
Well, thank you so much. And it seems like as you read through that, I'm like, oh, wait, I just implemented everything from your 7L book, didn't I?
Oh, geez, please. Come on. That's all right. That's our show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for the referralspodcast.com. That's awesome. You are so kind and so nice. And
I'll just tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you, Michael, listen, years and years ago as a team, we used your book as our book club. And it's just such an easy read in that, I don't know, it's kind of written as a fable. So it's fun to read. And there are action items and things to implement. And you, from your shout out at the beginning of the call, you see that once people put into action something that's so simple, they can just reap the rewards of referrals. And that, I'm telling you, is the name of the game. Referrals are the most fun kind of business, period.
It really is. And the most profitable and the most, significant, right? You can actually make a difference. It's the easiest, it's the shortest, it's the most productive, it's the fastest. I mean, other than that, let's do some other way of getting referrals. So the first thing I have to ask you is right to the database. Like, I've heard 5,000 different definitions of a data. What's your definition of the database that we're going to gamify, right?
Yeah. So for us in, all of my 20 years, I've been figuring this out and adapting and working through what that means to me. And today I'd say that my database is really a place where all of the people that know us or we have a warm connection with somehow are in one place that can be properly tagged, have plans attached to them, grouped and applied systematic touches to, so that when they think of real estate, they think of us. And there's different levels of that, of course. We call it our MET database is the most important because those are the people our friends, our family, people we've met through volunteer organizations or in our own community, business owners, nonprofit people. I mean, these are the warm relationships and the ones that we focus on. So whenever it comes to gamifying, we always start with that group first. And what we learned over the past 2 years of this pandemic and living and working through Zoom was like, hey, wait, when we were doing all these in-person events, we really wanted to focus on our core people and love on them the most, which still matters a lot. And could we start growing our MET database by simply inviting the unmet world, the public, through social media and emails to come in and play along in our games like giveaways, and they opt into our database? Now, of course, to me, the MET database and who I'm looking for to grow inside of our world is someone that we can get their name, their phone number, their email, their home address. We want all the data. So whenever they're opting in for a contest or a giveaway, they need to provide all that. Those are required inside of the forms. And then, of course, like in good realtor form, we say, hey, if you can think of a friend or family member who may need to buy or sell, we can put you in the contest twice. And you'd be amazing. You'd be amazed at how many grandmas get thrown under the bus, just so
they get referred just for the second entry. I love it. Well, so what you just described there was a ton of different stuff, right? I mean, one thing that you're doing, and I really want to dive into, is the unmet part of it. But let's focus on the Mets first, because that's let's focus on the Mets first is probably good advice for everybody who's listening to this, is not just the Mets. But you said core people. Are the core people different than the Mets?
Yes, they are. Okay. And, we call our VIP group our rock stars. Okay. So you can name it whatever you want. You just, I think, need to be really clear on really the 1% of your MET database, the people that are your cheerleaders, your raving fans. They share referrals and friends with you. Those are the people that get the extra love, the extra invites, or the early invites, the extra gifts when it's time for that. So yeah, I think it's really important to get super clear on who those people are and have a little bit extra inside of that for them.
Yeah, I love that. And it's I could see why you call them the rock stars, because you're a rock star. I mean, that like totally makes sense, right? So I see, out of all the things you could have called them, you called them rock stars. So
we like that.
I love that. And all right, so what are the characteristics of a rock star for you? Now, you said that maybe they're the ones that are referring you, but how do you, I'm guessing it's not just like you have 4,000 people in your database and only 40 to 400 of them make rock star status. I'm guessing it's not a percentage necessarily, but it's more of like there are some characteristics to them, right? How does one become a rock star in your system?
It was back in 2017 where we really got purposeful about identifying those that were supporters of us and we loved them as well. So it was a two-way relationship. And so we created the group back then based on that criteria. Are they our fan? They didn't necessarily have to be a closed client of ours. They could just be someone that we were in great relationship with. So that could be family members and great friends. And then over the past couple years, we realized that we really were striving for more engagement and excitement inside of this group. And we thought, how about we bring in some new blood? And so we, did a database event, through email that had invited all of our past clients. If they wanted to opt in to our closed Facebook group, then they were so welcome to. And so, Michael, if you've realized this over your years of being a referral-based business, is there are great people out there, and there are great people that we helped buy or sell a home. They just may not be referring kind of people. And it's not that we dislike them. It's just that we want to attract. And I remember you saying this years ago, and has stuck with me. I want to be referable. So what can I do that makes them so excited that they want to pass our name along? And it usually starts with, first off, delivering a great client experience.
That's right.
During the process, that they can't even imagine not sharing our names with their friends and family.
Yeah, that's a big part of that too, is the client experience. The nice thing about knowing what your client experience is that you become more confident. You want to help more people because you're like, oh my God, when they come through us, when they come through our assembly line of love, they're going to be so happy. They're going to be so thrilled. They're going to take the stress out of this and they're going to love us. And we're going to, so it's like, it's one of those where put that in place. And that's out of the scope of today, right? What is your client experience from the moment they meet you all the way through the moment that they close? That might be a great conversation, Jennie, if you're willing to come on in 6 or 7 years, which is how long it took us to schedule this one. No, I'm just kidding. But if we can get you back, I'd love to talk about the CX process, right?
Well, the importance of that, the importance of saying you're going to deliver an amazing client experience is that then you have the accountability that you must. So that's a whole nother level, right?
That is a whole nother level. It's actually delivering on your promises, which makes you referable, which right. Goes back to, we really call the three aspects or characteristics of referability are character, competence, and communication, right? So it's have high character, be highly competent, know what you're doing, which is a big part of that customer service experience too. And then communication. And as we know, if you haven't been communicated with and you're a client, it's awful. And if you have been communicated with as a client, it's amazing the difference. It's just like at the doctor's office, as they say, hey, listen, it might be kind of a long wait. Then you sit there and you wait and you do whatever you do. If they don't tell you that and it's a long wait, you are ready to complain on social media about your doctor. Trust me on that one. So here's the thing is I love what you said about new blood, right? You want to increase engagement and excitement. We have people who graded their database, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it may be, and they established this VIP group. If you're not getting new members every year and maybe even every quarter to that group, then it's going to get stale. It just will. No matter how much you mix or match, it's the same people, same personalities, but when you insert a couple of new people, 2 or 3, the entire dynamics change. It's just a different relationship. I love the new blood comment on that, to increase engagement and excitement. So how do we make it a game, right? So who keeps score?
Well, I think first you got to know the rules. What
are the rules?
Yeah, like you got to know what the rules of the game are. I mean, we follow a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So inside of that, we start with the economic model as a team. So we just had our team planning day for next year, and we set out the numbers based on last year's numbers and what does that look like. And so whenever we chunk it down, we really focus on the things we can control and measure, which are listings taken. So that is our team rule. So we know we need X number of listings taken each month to be able to achieve our goal, which equals the number of families that we serve, which equals the number of dollars that we get to give back to our community. So they're all related and it's all connected in the power of knowing the numbers. So, for example, you could have a contest with your team. Right now, we're in a 90 and 90 taking 90 listings in 90 days. And so we're operating in a quarter at a time kind of contest as a team. Where are we on track? Every 30 days we pause and go, are we on? Are we off? What are the, repercussions? What are the rewards? And you set the rules, and then you are connected as a team and stay in tune with that. Yeah.
So 90 and 90, are you taking 360 listings a year? That's like super aggressive. For almost anybody, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's just a push, right? There's just let's strive to hit this big number. Yeah.
Here's what's beautiful about that, right? Let's say you got 30, right? That's a win. And then the next quarter you get 45 and you're like, oh, we didn't make 90. No, there's no disappointment in 45. Trust me on that. Right. And so on. You've set the bar super, super high. And I can't wait. You gotta text me or email me when you hit 90 and 90. Dude, right. I'm gonna like fly to Oklahoma and give all your team members a high five. Like that. At 200 families, right? If you got 360 listings in a year, that would
changes everything. I'll just give some numbers to share with people. Is earlier in the second quarter, we ran this as a team because we were behind on our goal. And so, we had the 90 and 90 and we got to 60. Dang, that stinks. And as a leader, I didn't really know how to handle it. And then
what were you the month before?
So what I did was I went back a year before and I looked, and we were at the same time period, we had taken 31. And so that was the win I took to the team. Hey guys, we'd set this goal. We got 60. And I want to remind you that's double what we did the year before. And guess what? The following month was our highest closed units ever.
I freaking love that. I love it.
And the thing is though, Michael, is half our business comes from our local database or an agent referral database, which are both a database and based on referrals. So we are gamifying all the time. They see we're having fun and they want to be a part of it, just as you know.
Well, and you set the goal, right? And it's listings taken, right? Is really your big focus.
The release of 7L in 2010 sparked a movement among business owners. Industry-changing Catalyst coaching, Referrals podcast, and annual summits were created as a result. And now we're excited to introduce the Referral Mastery Academy, the online university for everyone in Gen. When on the Academy campus, head over to the library, get your library card, and browse all of our free resources. Everything at the library is free. Or you can enroll as a student and have access to the library, plus all of our on-demand courses, where you can learn and implement at your own pace. Buy one course at a time. Finally, you have the option to go all in and join the Academy. Academy members get access to all of the on-demand courses, the library, and monthly live classes and challenges. Academy members pay $99 per month and have access to everything. Check it out today at referralmasteryacademy.com.
What were they doing on a daily? What did they improve on or increase on a daily basis that made you get more business, right?
I would say it's just the focus. I think that as realtors, we have so many squirrels that we're chasing every day. You can set a rule for yourself of I'm going to talk to this many people or make this many dials or, whatever your number is. But whenever the focus is on something that will for sure lead to a pending than a closing, right? That's what I'm reminding the team every day is I love it that you guys are talking to people and there needs to be an appointment set of some kind, whether it's going out on a coffee date, it's getting face to face with people, because you and I both know that sometimes that conversation that was just innocent can spark something that turns into a future opportunity or a future referral. And you're just being a caring, kind person. You're not a pushy salesperson. You truly care about them as a human, and they in turn will think of you. That's it. It's that simple.
I'll tell you, I love that so much because that's exactly, it does happen organically like that. And you know, a lot of people do talking about like asking for referrals and things like that. I don't believe in that just because it's awkward for the other person. And it's like, what if everyone we met was just testing us to find out how human we were before they referred us?
Right.
You know what I mean? And what if we just went and we were like the best human possible? How would we want to be treated on steroids? Like literally asking questions and really listening and really caring about the answers. And then maybe pointing us in the right direction for whatever a goal we have or a challenge we had, and just was super, like it's just a superhuman good friend. And then like they'll refer you. And that's that. And sometimes it happens at the same meeting. Sometimes it happens immediately. It just does. So it's just one of those where, that epitomizes you, I think. And it's one of those where I hope the sales world gets it. You know, I hope they do. They're going to get it because they're not going to get anything else for the short term, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, how do you communicate with your database?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, because that's what I was just thinking as you were sharing that is, over the past, 18, 19 months of this pandemic, the kind of catchphrases were care calls. And that was just checking in on your people. And this isn't the asking for business. And I'm going to be very honest. I've been in the business 20 years. I've taken many of the classes that I know you've also taken through real estate. And I was never naturally that prospector. It made me sick. I didn't like it, uncomfortable. I would fake it when I was in the classroom and supposed to be making those calls. I would sneak out and really call my friends and my family and people that already knew me. And so I think that for the people that are probably attracted to you in your world are referral people naturally. So I'd say first off, figure out who you are. If this isn't your gig, go do your gig. But people that are attracted to me on my team and in my world, I'm not going to beat them up. Hey, go call everybody and ask them who they know who needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. That's not who we are. So we are always going to be focused on the birthday calls, the anniversary calls, the congrats on the new baby calls. I mean, these are the ones that matter. It's so simple to find all your friends on Facebook, their birthday, call them. Don't text them, don't message them. You may be the only phone call with a real voice on their birthday, right?
Yes, for sure. Or even call the day before. You will definitely be the only one who ever calls the day before. And for sure, you're going to be the only one who calls them on their birthday. Their mom doesn't even call them on their birthday anymore, right? Mom's on Facebook posting, hey, happy birthday. It's like they don't even get together it's so simple. And yet, I mean, and you're in teaching mode as well, right? You've mastered a lot of these business aspects to the point where people want to know what you're doing, and you're mentoring and coaching and training. Why do you think more people don't do the care calls or the birthday calls or the anniversary calls or the house anniversary calls or that kind of thing? Why what do you think holds them back?
Well, they might not just see the value in it yet. Maybe they haven't been doing it long enough consistently for it to start showing up as a repeat and referral business. And then also maybe they're just distracted and don't have clear focus on what matters most or who they are or what matters in their life. Something that I'm certain we are both in alignment on is like we find our greatest joy and purpose in life in helping others achieve their greatness. And so I think every agent needs to always start with that. Why are you doing this business? Because when you realize why you're doing it, for me, when I realized that if I pick up the phone and talk to a buyer or seller and get to help them through the process, and then I get to closing, the money that I earn allows me to give back to my community. I offer to make a donation to their favorite nonprofit. Every event that we have, we partner with a nonprofit. So my money is going back into the community that I love. Mm-hmm. And that's when I get on fire about helping more families.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we always, it's like with any events you're going to do, you should have the three things, right? It should be entertainment, right? It should be entertaining in some way. It should have an entertainment aspect to it. And then it should be educational. No matter what, even a comedy night should have some educational aspect to it. And then a charitable aspect to it, right? And 20,000 a year to charities, that's phenomenal. That's off the charts. How did you choose who to give that to? I mean, I'm genuinely curious.
Well, we started it with, I created a nonprofit, and please don't go start a nonprofit. It actually costs some money and a lot of time.
I'm gonna second that, unless you have a really big foundation in your city who will like create the foundation for you. But yes, it's a lot of work.
Before I knew all that, I did create one, and it's called Keys to the City. And I said the purpose of it is to give back. And it started really simple. So Michael, you're a past client, and my follow-up call after you've closed, and see, nowadays I'm not really in the transaction anymore. I have an amazing team. And so I get to call and say, Michael, thank you so much for allowing us to do what we love. You know, Brittany said you were so amazing to work with. And I'm certain that she probably also mentioned that we love to give back to the Tulsa community. Do you have a local favorite nonprofit that we may donate to in your name? And maybe they're new to town, they don't have anyone yet. And so we'll give them some suggestions of some generic, great nonprofits. And they tell us. Now, I realize though, that a lot of times it went to voicemail, they didn't call me back, or they just didn't have one yet. So I'm like, well, I'm going to still earmark that money that I would have given and have it sitting over here ready when needed to give back. And, things come up, Michael, natural disasters this past year with flooding and things. So we've had money available to give nationally and locally, and that feels good. And that really fires us up. So that's how we mainly choose. And then we really allow our clients then to guide us as to who to partner with when it comes to each events as well.
Yeah, that's a drop the mic. I love all of that. We help businesses build their business based on love, generosity, and appreciation, right? With the 3 principles of give first, give thanks, and give back. And just it's so in alignment, right? That everything I've heard through this is just like give first. Like you're a give first person. Like you are a give massive value, giving value, always sharing and caring, and reaching out to help. And that leads to people helping you. And sometimes that's with listings, but a lot of other ways too, And that's that and you're hugely appreciative, and they know it, right? Which goes into that give thanks. And then the giving back element is just, it shines through. And you would have done it, even like you said, you created a nonprofit. You would have been doing this even without the phone call of giving to the nonprofit or charity on the basis of the person. But it's just like it's no wonder you're a rock star. Right. And we're in the generosity generation. I keep hating to use my own lingo on this, but it's like, this is an era when nice people finish first, and you're one of the nicest people I know, and you're finishing first, and you're doing great with the real estate, of course. And where at in Oklahoma do you serve? I almost said a city, but I want to make sure you've expanded, right?
Yeah. So no, you got it. Tulsa, Northeast Oklahoma. Yeah.
So Tulsa, Oklahoma, which, by the way, the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers minor league team is there, Drillers, and I played baseball with the head coach of the Drillers, Scott Hennessy, way back when. I won't tell you when. But here's what we need to set up. Now, I got to be careful. This is recording, but I need to come to town. Yeah. And I have a dream of throwing a first pitch, right? How you throw the first pitch, right? Yeah. So we need to figure out a way to just make that cool, like that happen. So
we love it. Before the pandemic, every year we had a client event, every year 200 clients, and we reserve out the space. It's such a great night. And so yes, let's make that happen.
Yeah. So quick story. I actually had that set up in Chattanooga for the Lookouts. I was going to throw the first, and one of the other coaches, unfortunately for my son's team, was contracted with cancer. He actually had cancer. So it was just like, oh, dude, there's no way I can throw the first pitch. He's got to throw the first pitch. Well, he went out and threw a freaking BB. Like, he didn't look like, you really have cancer, or did you just say that? And he's like, well, it ended up that he did have it, and he's a survivor of it. But it was just one of those where it's like, had it all set up, ready to go, and it didn't happen for a good cause. But we got to make it happen. And to see Scott again would be really, really cool. So,
that's fun.
But I'm telling you, I love how you set the focus for the entire team, and this is how we're going to keep score, people. Right here, this is how you score a basket. I don't care how you get there, right? If it's a three or a layup or it's a wacky shot and it goes in, it doesn't matter. It counts and it scores. Listings taken is the way that we're going to grow this business and grow our impact in the area. And I love the different ways that you mentioned about communicating with the calls and the emails and the text messages and the private Facebook group that you have for your core. You know, your rock stars have a group, and then to go out and say, all right, you're a client. We've had this private group that we've been running for a while. We'd like to invite you in if you want to be in. You don't have to, but we'd love to have you, which is very attractive in the invitation because it was exclusive, or it was exclusive, and now it's exclusive, and you're giving them kind of a one-time invite. I mean, there's so much good here, and you're doing so much good, Jennie. We got to bring you back on and talk about CX, talk about the client experience, and what they go through. You know, what we call the assembly line of love, and you know, just have some fun with that. So, you know, our time is brief on the podcast, unfortunately. And quite honestly, I don't think there's any podcast in the history of the world long enough to get into all your wisdom. So,
I have so much more to share. We didn't even go into the giveaways. We had a Peloton giveaway that I'm announcing the winner when we get off here. And we had tons of fun and so many clients call in to try and win. And so,
all right, tell us how you ran that. Tell us how the great Peloton giveaway, right? So just so no, we did have somebody do something similar a while back on this, but everybody's got their different spin. So spin, get that?
It's probably very similar. You know, we were early on doing giveaways for a very small number of people. And we're like, well, this is silly. We want to grow our influence. We want to grow our connection and relationships. So we open it up to the world. Of course, our clients, our Mets, our people get early invitations and all of that opportunity. And anyway, so the giveaway was a Peloton. We had sponsors who helped out, which are local business people, insurance and a construction company. So I did interviews with them. So I'm promoting their businesses, which goes out to our social media and our network. And then we partnered with a local nonprofit. We went and did a tour and had all that as promotion as well. And
on video, right? You videoed the nonprofit? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's all out there on the Wolek Group's Facebook pages if you want to check it out. And then we had our call-in day. So just yesterday from 9 to 2, people could call in. And of course, we gather all their data just to make sure. So we've got new people that are going to get added to our network. We're giving it away today. The fun part is that we had 60 people call in. We got 5 referrals, set 1 listing appointment where I could kind of be like, man, we could have done more. Why did more people call? And I'm like, wait, that was just a random Tuesday where that's a pretty good result for a Tuesday that we didn't pay for anything, sponsored, and had lots of fun.
And they're calling you.
They're calling us.
I mean, it's like I didn't have to make any prospecting calls on Tuesday. Why not? We had 60 people call me. How about that, baby? Which is better, you calling them or them calling you, right?
They want to play with us, and that's what's been so fun over this past couple of years. It's been.
Did you have any internet aspect to the giveaway at all? I know that you did the call in and win, right? So they called in, and if they called in between a certain amount of time, they got an entry. If they did some other things, they would get a bonus entry. Right? Maybe. Did you have any internet aspect? Could you enter through internet or something like that?
Not in this event. We have definitely had other versions. So every event that we host, and we want to think in advance of what's the purpose. And so for this one, it was the call. For other ones, it's been engagement, like our page, et cetera. We want to get real clear on that and not be too confusing.
Yeah, I love this. And I love how you did it this time, because if you do too much in the beginning, they won't do anything. Right. But you're focused on the call. So now you could add, like, all right, if you enter at this site and you call, you get 2 entries, right?
Yeah.
If you do a review for us on Zillow or Google or Facebook, then you get 3 entries. If you have a friend call us, you get 4 entries. You know, you didn't confuse it or bully it up with all that stuff. You made it super simple, but it's amazing how this one great giveaway concept can grow, and they're calling you. You know, it's attractive by nature.
Yeah.
You know, you're not saying that they're going to win, you know.
You got it. And just to wrap up on that, put a pretty little bow on top of it is once you create this plan, then you can just tweak it over time. Like you said, when you go, after every event, we pause and we say, what went really well? What could we do different? What could we ditch? And so we want to get better every single time. And that's what's fun about our business. We get to make it up as we go, right?
Yeah, full control. It's the 1 degree tweak, right? It's the 1 degree tweak. It's not a 180 degree turn. It's a 1 degree tweak. That's the key to success. And it's one of those where I love because that's really, but here's the thing. There's people out there who are tweaking things they've never implemented. Right. They keep tweaking it to the point where it's like, listen, first of all, it's never going to be perfect. And second of all, your tweaks are wrong until you've implemented it. Right? So how do you know what to tweak unless you've done it? So I think it's one of those where just do it. Just if there's one message that comes through here, it's be an implementer. Just implement, just do it. Most of the people who listen to this have full control to do whatever they want, you know? So do it. Have fun with it, you know? You don't have to give away a Peloton. You can give away whatever the hottest, latest, biggest, greatest thing is, you know?
Yeah. So we started small, right? If you are on a budget, you start small, get things donated, have fun with your local vendor partners and help grow and promote them. You want to give back to them as well.
I love it. Jennie, this was awesome. You're a rock star. And I just have to say thank you so much for being our guest on Referrals Podcast today.
Had a blast. Thank you.
It was worth the wait. I'm just telling you, it was worth the wait. We're getting the next one scheduled now, baby. I'm telling you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you were on a Peloton or you were on your stationary bike or your treadmill or walk, you got a little longer walk today, but wasn't it freaking worth it? Was that awesome or what? You're sweating a little more. You're getting a little more. I appreciate those of you that tell me that you work out and listen to Referrals Podcast at the same time. It's kind of your ritual. I love that. And for those of you that just listened or are watching on YouTube and you're 100% focused and taking notes and getting ready to implement, hey, I applaud you too. Thanks for tuning in to Referrals Podcast. We'll see you next time.